The Dublin Fosterling by Thomas Kennedy. Narrated by Stephen Miller. Chapter 1. Druid Loch Lane was uneasy. It seemed only yesterday that his predecessor, Wizard Drow, had been sentenced to 999 Earth years encased in glass and sent to the bottom of the ocean. They had chosen the Atlantic Ocean because it was cold enough, but not too cold. Treason was a serious offense in Otherworld. He had cast the runes while having breakfast, and twice they had come up. All he had asked was whether his meetings with the fairy queen, unscheduled as it was, should be a cause of unease. This had added to his unease. Druid Loch Lane left his private quarters in the royal palace and made his way down through long corridors, sumptuously decorated in tasteful combinations using gold and emeralds and diamonds and various shades of the rainbow. The meeting was to be in the annex to the green throne room, where a number of nymphs would serve a breakfast fit for a queen. This room was designated for use by the queen to dress for formal occasions in the throne room, but the queen also favored it as a breakfast room. The view through the bay windows looked out over rolling lawns, decorated with flowers and shrubs and fountains, and stretched over rolling green hills towards the far horizon. The fact that she'd asked for a breakfast meeting did not surprise him, as he knew it was her hair day. She'd had an appointment with her hairdresser, a fast-moving sprite with an eye for detail, later in the morning. Clearly, she had a problem she wanted to pass on before she got into the serious business of her hair. "Morning, Majesty," he said formally, slipping in past the guards on the door. They appeared to ignore him, but watched him closely. They knew him well as he met the fairy queen formally several times a week on Otherworld business. As the Queen's first minister, he was a well-respected and powerful figure, and in addition to this, he was a powerful druid, rumored in his distant past to have dabbled in the dark magic, something that was forbidden in the kingdom. However, the fact that he could do his own magic made all who dealt with him wary. He was careful to await acknowledgement and to sit when indicated in the seat opposite. The Ngapmek, the indestructible personal bodyguard of the fairy queen, was standing tall and green on the right side of the table, regarding him with large, wary but benign eyes. Nonetheless, as always, the Ngapmek made Druid Loch Lane feel guilty of something he couldn't quite put his finger on. Was it the way he looked at him? The fairy queen waved the Ngapmek away, and before Druid Loch Lane's eyes, the creature shrank down to the size of a small green stone. The queen picked up his golden chain, and wrapped it around her wrist with the green Ngapmek dangling like a small emerald. If danger threatened, he could resume his formidable and terrifying presence in an instant. But the queen knew that the Ngapmek made people, even people as distinguished and powerful as Druid Loch Lane, nervous, and she preferred to keep her champion visible, but in a non-intrusive way. Just as long as those in the audience knew he was there and ready for anything untoward. Pleasantries got them through the selection of breakfast, and the silver service was left behind the table where they could serve themselves. Then they were alone, other than the discreet, unintrusive presence of the Ngapmek. As the fairy queen served him a cup of lemon tea, Druid Loch Lane got out his notebook. He made a point of writing down the instructions of the fairy queen because sometimes there were many, and sometimes she changed her mind. "Agenda?" he asked. The fairy queen poured herself a cup of tea and smiled. "Something serious has come up," she said. "Yes?" "The god of love, recently deceased," the fairy queen began. "Killed by his son in combat," Druid Loch Lane interjected, having heard the palace gossip. "Killed by accident by his son, who is on a gap year in New York," the fairy queen replied, a touch of reprimand in her tone. She did not approve of gossip when it came back to her through her first minister. It was important that he at least knew the official version of everything. "Understood," Druid Loch Lane replied, picking up on her tone. "A note will go out on this to all personnel, including the ghouls of the underworld, once the god Danu agrees to the text of the..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?